Have you ever wondered how investors and BAs secure those profitable off-market deals? One of the key pieces as to how is exactly what we're going to discuss today.
What's one of our first keys or our triggers?
Build a bit of rapport. Don't just go in there asking for something straight away. You have to.
Dawn Fouhy, property investor and founder of Future-Proof Property Advisory, shares with us the 3 triggers of trust that's crucial when dealing with agents, so you can increase the chances of securing an off-market deal.
What's trigger 2?
Remember, you're talking to a human on the other end of the phone.
Mastering this skill set can massively excel your portfolio growth.
You don't just want to be going around being rude. You're never going to get any off markets or properties.
What's our third and final trigger?
Investing anywhere, we have to focus on.
If you've always wanted to have a peek behind the curtain into some of the details at how off-market deals are structured and even sourced in the first place, you're going to enjoy this episode. My name's Todd Sloan. This is the Pizza and Property Podcast, and this episode's powered by Insight 2, Future-Proof Property, and PDN. More about our show sponsors in the show notes below. But right now, you're about to listen to my chat with Dawn Fouhy.
Dawn Fouhy, how you going?
Todd, what is the crack?
What is the crack? What's cracking?
What's cracking?
We're talking off markets and we're talking trust. Not trust as in company trust structures. We're talking about the triggers of trust. You and I were chatting about this on the phone the other day, and I thought this would make a really good slice because I feel a lot of people think, yeah, off market, I can call an agent, I can ask for an off market deal. A lot of the time you're just going to ask for some disappointment because it doesn't actually come to fruition if you don't do this correctly.
Correct.
You were talking about these kind of triggers for the 3 sort of main triggers of trust that you often lean on to build relationships, to actually be the person that gets given the opportunity of the off market. So before we actually go through these, do you want to sort of set the stage with anything off market wise or any kind of, basically just a preempt on this?
Talking about off markets, firstly, it's not some, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that it's going to be some 50k under market value property with, sea views. Mm-hmm. Quality properties are going to go online and there's going to be demand. So off markets sometimes can not be that great. So you need to have your bullshit radar on as well, because maybe the agent has actually gotten the listing because they've said it's worth more than it actually is. That's why it's off market, or it's on a main road, or, some of the less desirable stock may end up off market. And I'm not talking about the Facebook groups where it's like off market opportunity when it's like, hang on, I saw that in an email blast to 1,000 other people. So off market generally is a property that nobody else knows about and is exclusive to you from the real estate agent or a few other people.
I actually saw a platform not that long ago, and I can't recall its name right now, that specialized in sharing off-market listings. And it's like, well, that's a marketplace. That's not exactly off-market then. Like, that didn't make any sense to me. But anyway.
Correct. It's a behind-the-scenes auction.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
With limited information.
So what you're saying is just because something's off market doesn't mean it's automatically a winner.
No.
You've got to approach it with caution. An agent might just be like basically serving something up to you on a silver platter to make you feel special, but it could be overpriced and you actually don't want to lift the lid on that because it's rubbish underneath. But not always. And sometimes to get the ones that are a better deal, this is where it comes down to the trust side of things.
Correct.
Have I understood you right?
Correct.
So what's one of our first keys or our triggers when it comes to building trust to actually get in front of a good off-market deal?
You have to do the work. So for every 30 phone calls we make, we might get one property that will meet metrics good enough that we would purchase. So if you're the average person out there, hopefully this can help you. So when you're calling up real estate agents, firstly, you're not anything special. They've had 100 of you call them asking for, hello, do you have any off-market properties? I mean, that's just going to drain their life, your life, and your phone data. So maybe lead with a bit of humor. Am I caller 100 for the day? Build a bit of rapport. Don't just go in there asking for something straight away, because why would they give it to you? They don't even know you.
The other thing that to me stands out about what you just said as well is being a little bit memorable.
Correct.
Because no one ever calls a real estate agent with like some good news or some humor or something like that. That's so few and far between. And it's so simple and free, but it will help you be remembered.
Correct. Or have a look at what they recently sold. Congratulate them on a listing they may have had or stock that you like that they have sold. So you want to try and get to know them, how many listings they have, what sort of volume they're doing. It's a psychological game getting off markets.
Absolutely. So volume is what I'm really hearing from the beginning. You don't want to be making 1 or 2 calls and going, cool, I'm going to sit back and wait for the phone to ring me back.
No, in hot markets, you're not going to get anyone calling you. If the agent's calling you, it's a dead set sign that you are in a market that's on life support.
Okay. And as far as building the trust with that agent, whether they're in a hot market or a cold market, this is really about interjecting a little bit of humor to begin with, being memorable, but it's the volume side of things, also the repetition of it. Don't show up once, you're showing up to the same agent multiple times.
Correct. So you want to be memorable, but not a pest. And you also want to be kind and courteous. So real estate agents are working for the seller. They're not working for you, the buyer. Their job is to work you. Their job is to get the best price for the seller. So in the negotiation of securing an off market, you have to be willing to walk away. In any negotiation, the person who's willing to walk away is the person who wins. Don't just keep increasing your price or offering more or saying that you'll make an offer and then never submitting anything. You have to be true to your word, and you have to be somebody reliable for them to take you seriously.
All right, so you're playing the volume game. You're making a lot of calls. What's trigger 2?
Trigger 2 is you need to remember you're talking to a human on the other end of the phone, and they owe you nothing. So it's really important to always, in general life anyway, just be kind, be courteous, and they don't have to give you the off market, and you're not anything special in that. So you just have to really remember that the real estate agent is working for the seller. Their job is to get the best price for their seller. You're the buyer. Their job is to work you.
One of the things I think actually works about that as well is when you are an agent getting the 100 calls a day, but also like pushing, selling is what you do. When someone else calls up and kind of does it on you, I think the reason that works so well is because no one does it. So there is almost this little bit of like, oh, someone's being lovely to me now. Like, and if you're that person that then is the one that is treating them kindly as a human instead of yelling at them, because you get yelled at a lot when you're a real estate agent, you're getting remembered in a pretty positive light as well.
Correct. And you want to see what they've actually done. Look at listings they've sold. Compliment them on listings that they've gotten. And there is an element of boosting someone's ego as well. So you have to be memorable in certain aspects.
Absolutely. So you're making lots of calls, text, emails, basic communication.
Correct.
Frequency.
Correct.
Okay. Then be a person. Don't be a robot. Don't just ask for something and expect to get given it. If you're wanting to actually build a relationship, build the relationship. What's that third and final trigger?
Well, if you're going to say verbally over the phone you're going to make an offer, put in an email. Have clean terms on your contract. So you're not going to have every special condition under the sun in a hot market. A seller is not going to take that. What I would advise you to do is, if it's an off market, the photos won't be flashy. They'll have tenants stuff in them. The yield might be a bit lower, but that gives you an opportunity to score something at a really good price. What you need to do is put in your terms subject to a video walkthrough within 5 business days. Subject to building and pest, subject to finance. Like, don't be stupid putting in a contract with no terms whatsoever. This is a huge amount of money, but you want to. And also what could be good is you can send the real estate agent a copy of your pre-approval from the bank. Show them that you're a serious buyer and that you're going to commit to the sale, that you're a sophisticated buyer. You don't just want to be going around lowballing, distrusting people, being rude. You're never going to get any off markets or properties. Your real estate agent is the key to you getting quality properties.
You'll catch more flies with honey than you will vinegar.
Absolutely. So don't be a dickhead.
That should just be the title of this show. Get off markets. Don't be a dickhead. Okay, so really, this does come back to just being a person, but having what I'm seeing here is work ethic and humility.
Correct.
But you also want the business now. So like you said, don't just be like, oh, it's an off market. I don't want to miss this opportunity and make silly decisions and forgo getting an inspection done or things like that.
But do your due diligence before you put in an offer. So have you checked it's in a flood zone, fire zone? Have you checked the insurance, the power lines? Please do your due diligence and don't pull out on the contract later on because you've done due diligence in hindsight. Be a serious buyer.
All right, Dawn, is there any final words of wisdom or anything you'd like to leave everyone with today when it comes to building trust to get off-market deals?
Don't lead your offer with FOMO, especially in a hot market. It's very easy to do. Please do your due diligence and don't pull your offer out at the last minute. Have you checked the flood zoning, fire zone, power lines, main roads, and everything else that you need to check before you place an offer via email?
So make sure you're not that person that's securing it and then selling the relationship that you've just worked so hard to beat by doing it in the reverse order.
Correct, because you've been, you've made an impulsive $500,000 decision. Like, this isn't you going out to Kmart, buying a whole trolley full of stuff when you've gone in for one thing. Like, you're buying a property. Do your proper due diligence.
I do that with white shoes. I buy my shoes from Kmart. Whenever they're on sale for $6, Dawn, you should see the trolley. Packed full.
Chemist Warehouse is a killer. You go in there and everything is on special and I'm like, how did I end up with all this stuff?
It's like shopping at Aldi.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how we went
Come
there.
home with a trumpet.
On that note, Dawn Fouhy from Future Proof, thank you so much again for jumping on the show.
Thanks, Todd.